Here is a finished painting for today's project. So we're going to start, just like we start all of our paintings, with getting the white out. Take a little bit of medium and just get the rest smoothed out. See how much came off? I'm going to make the branch a body. Right now he looks like a penguin, but we'll take care of that. So we have another one here. I almost want to make sure that these come in like a heart here. We will be starting with the darkest dark. This darkest dark mixture is ivory black with ultramarine blue. Ivory black, if you put white in it, results in a very nice neutral blue. So it won't make mud in your color mixtures. What makes mud is more than 3 colors being mixed together, or too much pressure and too many times reworking a brush stroke. And the sad part of this is you can't tell until the paint is dry that you have a muddy passage. I'm just going to block in some colors. Notice that during the initial block-in stage how thin the colors are. That is to ensure that I'm doing fat over lean. So yes, this is the lean part of the painting. Now, I'm trying to be mindful of values at this present time. Very important I get the values in right. Kind of just a little bit lighter here, but oh boy. It's okay. It's quite okay. A little outline here for the heart. So let's get the background in, and I'm going to move to a larger brush. We're just getting it blocked in. And blocking in is putting in the base color of everything in the painting. So the home color could be one way of thinking of it. Local color is another way of thinking of it. But you add and take away as you develop the painting. And I'm adding some of that brown, the brown tones down through here, just for variety. And again, this is by no means finished. And if anybody saw this, they would think, she doesn't really have any skills. But every painting starts this way. This is what they call the ugly stage. And you have to establish your roadmap. This is my roadmap. I know what I'm looking for here. I know that I'm going to be drawing color out over the background, especially feathers. Let's begin with the eye. Then I can take this out right there. We do the same thing here. And we have an eye. I'm going to start with the top of the bird's head. This might be too soon to do this, but I'm going to try it. So what I'm trying to do is create lost edges on the top of each bird's head. And in the photo source, there's a very strong source of light. So that's why I'm trying to do this lost edge on the top. And you also just saw that I took away those two little hearts. I think they were just a little too cutesy. Because I don't want it to look like they're holding up a heart. I just want it to look like the background is making a heart, like a push and pull kind of situation. In this passage, you'll see me steal some background color to incorporate into the bird's belly. Yes, if color has been placed and you take it away, you're stealing. I liked the way that was going, so I mixed up fresh color that would match the background for the belly. Let's reestablish some of this darkest dark here. Here you'll see me use the negative or the background color to bring out the positive or the top of the bird's head. I'm placing a bit of a highlight here in the feathers of the chest. And here I'm going to soften this passage. This is just tapping the brush ever so lightly and dragging it. Continuing with the darker colors, but light approach with the brush to create feathers. Let's get their beaks in the right way. So I'm just going to come in with the overall shape of the beak here, knowing that this actually comes in pretty dark. And the same thing here, it's a little bit shorter. We'll have to fix that. It's definitely darker underneath. In case you haven't figured it out, I always struggle with beaks. Adding some more highlights and deliberate brushwork. Doing this as a way to indicate structure and feathers. And through here, I'm softening this edge almost to a lost edge. And this edge will be lost. Warming the feathers here, decided to bring that edge back. A couple of notes of color through here. Notice how thick the paint is, how much paint is on the brush. A lot. That is the fat over lean method of painting. This one bird, I just can't get this feathering right here, this part of the bird, the right way. I keep struggling with this, but I'll get it eventually. Okay, I like that. Let's get some leggies in. We're just going to put in a basic color, and then you're going to see the magic happen when I put the highlight on top. We'll give him some pretty big feet. I do, however, change this bird at the end from male to female. Let's get the rest of this bird foot in, just so we have something to compare it to. Now I'm going to grab my gel medium. I put quite a bit of color down on the foot, and I have to have something to float it with, and that's where this gel medium comes in. So this bird's foot was first of all painted with tube consistency paint. Now I want to put a color over it, and it has to be thicker, and that's where the gel comes in. It allows me to float that color over without picking up the undercolor. I just don't like it. So what are we going to do? We're going to make and then we know that this comes over here. I don't know. I think I'll take that out. I think it's just a little confusing. Let's see if we can get this foot in here. Yeah, let's bring some dark in. I want to put in some suggestion of buds. Got to get a thinner brush. Excuse me, this is going to be Evan, this is going to be Devin. So I'm going to rosy up her little belly right here. So you can see this is where I change who's the girl and who's the boy chickadee here. Last minute, I've decided to use my brush to create an eyelash. And this, along with the pinker belly, will help establish that this is Devin, who is the bride. So I'm going to make her just a tad smaller. I decided that more white flowers was not going to overwork the painting. Let's try putting in Evan and Devin. This did not go as easy as it could have. And there's quite a bit of editing that happened here. I want to come in negatively around that beak to make it smaller because it's the bride's beak. Even though I signed my name, it's not finished. I realized that it's a little bottom heavy, so I thought I would do some branch work above the two lovebirds. I like the idea for compositional purposes. So the compositional tip here is that these branches force the eye to come back down into the painting. I'd like to carry that lighter branch work coloring throughout the rest of the painting. It gives it more of a wedding look. I've decided to make Devin smaller, so I'm going to start from the top down. And then I move on to raising up Evan's head just a tad. Why don't we suggest some pink on her cute toes? And there's blue on Evan's toes.